I'm Brian.
I'm Jay.
We're in Bad Religion,
This is a box.
and we're going to unbox this box.
We're going to unbox. I'm scared.
I'm not. Midwest Gaelic Athletic Association, August.
It's a newspaper. This is great.
From Cleveland, the Ohio Irish American News. You know, I remember the first time I read the Ohio Irish.
You know, you guys, it's the same one every. It's a.
Aha! Bad Religion, Crash Hall Prancers, Unwritten Law. Wow. State Theater, Detroit. So what year is this, Jay? 96?
That tour.
Every day I work with this man. This is what you get.
What do you want?
Okay, it's Gray Race Tour, so it's 96.
Good for you.
I don't recall ever seeing this poster.
That's an eye on fire on
Yeah.
top of a skewer.
But
With a fork in it. It's good.
yeah, that's kind of cool. It's glad to see we had sort of a diverse bill of sort of ninth wave ska and Unwritten Law, which were sort of a rich man's Pennywise. Something like that.
Fucking straight face.
Well, we had
Promise Ring.
Promise Ring was good.
Sparta.
Do we have Sparta and what band was Sonny in?
Oh, from first to last.
Was it Sparta?
No,
first
that
to
was
last? That was a weird combo.
that was a weird combo. But that was a label thing. That wasn't our choice. That was a label ask.
Yeah, but it still happened.
It did happen.
It did happen.
I'm sorry that happened. But you know what? He doesn't care now. Look at him now.
Oh no, I'm not sorry it happened at all. I think it's cool.
I'm sorry that it happened to you.
I
You were
liked
there.
Bad Religion Less Than Jake was kind of an interesting. I mean, I guess it's kind of it was after this, I believe, but that was kind of an interesting thing because they definitely draw a different crowd.
It was after this because that was in the 2000s.
Was Hot Water opening?
Yes.
Best tour ever. Let's do that again. I love the Jakes. I love the Hot Waters.
So we're just gonna do it again?
Yeah, why not? We can do
You
anything.
can't go back in time.
Bullshit. We're 40 years old. We can do anything we want. There are no rules.
All right.
You know how your dad acts? We get to do it now.
Stoned? Sweet.
Not me.
This one's not as good. This one's plastic. You're killing the turtles. Ooh. All right, I remember this.
Yep. I have this at my house.
Were you there? Wait,
Yes.
Brandenburg Gate,
Yep.
correct?
Correct.
I knew it.
Oh God, featuring me in a backwards baseball hat, the scourge of man. I mean, that is one of my biggest pet peeves is the backwards baseball hat, and yet here he is, just proudly Southside capping.
Well, this would have been like right after Brett left, and now we're on a major label doing what we're doing.
I mean, baseball hats should really be worn, if at all, when you're playing baseball. And forward, if you're off the field, I can go with that. But the backwards thing, on like a grown-up,
It happens.
God, it just freaks me out.
I saw it happen to you the other day.
I won't talk to you if you have
I
your hat on
wouldn't talk to you.
backwards.
You had your hat on backwards.
I will not speak
I
to you.
stared at you. You had your hat on backwards the other day.
That was for 1 second.
It still was
because it was
backwards.
making the mic feedback.
It was still
It was
on.
in sound check. Sound check isn't real life. Sound check is an alternate universe where you're doing things to prepare for real life. You cannot be penalized for anything in sound check.
Well, I mean, this is a picture forever.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Thanks.
Look, Oasis,
I love the magazine.
Oasis is third on the bill. That's where that was back.
Under London Sweat.
Anyway, this was a good time. Would you like to ask a question about this? Yes, please. No. There was an interview? No. I remember taking the picture because we stood in front of the Brandenburg Gate and caused trouble, and they asked us to leave.
I think I was still gag ordered at that point.
Yeah, you
early
weren't-
in the
you
career.
weren't allowed
I
to
hadn't
talk.
blossomed into the chatty Cathy that you see now.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this was all Greg. And so what I would remember about it is not being there.
Yeah.
Really drunk. But at least it's got some catalog. No. Oh, here. I talked about Into the Unknown. I walked out in the middle of it. There you go. I walked out in the middle of it. Winning. Next. Apparently this is for you. And even though it's number 3, it's number 2. Is that correct? I'm talking to the audience. You don't know. Stay out of this.
Stand clear for backs.
I just can't wait to see what it is. What? Are you excited? It's shoes! It's Ian Mackay's shoes!
Well. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Damned at the Ontario Theatre in D.C. I assume it was in the box because this would have been the Damned Anti-Nowhere League Minor Threats show. Though, being the Damned, of course, they don't want to mention anybody but themselves. But that's another story. This was an amazing experience for me. The Ontario Theatre, where in D.C., was unattainable. It was like playing the Agora. It was a huge old theater that punk bands never got into. It was for really big bands, and the perspective was crazy. I went to see the Cramps at the Ontario Theatre. It was the one time I had been there before we opened for the Damned, and that was a really interesting day because the Damned and Anti-Nowhere League were a package, and they roll into DC, and this is, I guess, 83? Yeah, this is 83, and Minor Threat's on the bill, and so the promoters are like, saying, like, guys, I get it, but you really probably want to put Anti-Nowhere League before Minor Threat. Just saying. And it made sense, because at that time, we had a lot of people who liked us in DC, and no one really, Anti-Nowhere League was kind of a niche band. And so that caused a lot of tension among the British subjects. But they did let that happen. So we had Anti-Nowhere League, then us, and then the Damned. And I recall, like, nothing about those guys. I had no interaction with the other bands, but I think they were touring Strawberries, which was a huge record for me. And I got to sit on the side of the stage. I was like watching Brat, like from, parallel. It was insanely cool. Great piece here. I dig it. I'm just up there, the bald guy's yelling, I don't really know what's happening. My perspective is different. That's cool.